first one for Kylian Mbappe to chase. He's in behind, he's long the goalkeeper. Rodrigo, is he going to get there? Yes, he is. It's Mbappe. Oh, puts the defender on the ground and slams it in.
Mbappe has gone from critics calling him the problem at Madrid.
The biggest problem here is Mbappe.
Calling him anonymous.
Kylian Mbappe was once again, and I'm being kind, anonymous.
And questioning his place in the team.
What's going on with Mbappe? Like, what is the concern level about his production there so far this season? Because he has not lived up to expectations.
To proving why he was considered the best player in the world.
Wonderful vision. Mbappe, the 1-2 with Bellingham, and that is brilliant.
Just a few months ago, my YouTube was being flooded with videos tearing him down. The critics were relentless, calling him overhyped, selfish, and unfit for the pressures of La Liga. Some went as far as to say he was a flop at Madrid, that he was washed, and that he should have just stayed in Paris, stat padding in the so-called Farmers League. The criticism was endless, and for a while it even seemed justified, because up until November last year, his form had taken a serious dip. Even when he started showing signs of improvement in December, the doubts lingered. They dismissed his performances, waiting for him to slip up again. But now all the doubters have been put to shame because Mbappe is back.
Chance for Mbappe! And Mbappe into the top corner! The boot! It's Mbappe! He puts on the afterburners and scores! From an acute angle, it's Kylian Mbappe!
Let's be clear though, the criticism wasn't entirely baseless.
Mbappe playing, he's not the Mbappe that I know. I can see that he's powerful, but he's not explosive.
His early months in La Liga were tough, but the critics seemed to overdo it.
And the way Mbappe's gone, he will be remembered as a great player, but he's never going to be an all-time great.
They made it feel like he was completely off his footing, making it a case to always blame him for the team's overall poor performances, with some even calling him a slightly above-average player. Something wrong to say about someone like Mbappe. Yes, he looked out of sync. The blistering pace that terrorized Ligue 1 defenders suddenly seemed ineffective against La Liga's compact defensive setups. His struggles were visible. He misfired several times against Real Valladolid, and you could feel his frustration. Then came El Clásico, where things went from bad to worse. Barcelona's high defensive line caught him offside 8 times, and when he finally broke free, he squandered a one-on-one opportunity against Iñaki Peña that could have changed the game. But the lowest point was perhaps those 2 crucial penalties that he missed against Liverpool and Athletic Bilbao. The Liverpool match, in particular, was brutal. Connor Bradley marked him out of the game, making him look almost invisible. That was when the tables truly turned. The internet exploded with criticism. His struggles became the centerpiece of every football debate.
The biggest problem here is Mbappe.
Viral videos flooded social media, fueling the narrative that Mbappe wasn't that guy anymore. Though what people failed to acknowledge was the bigger picture. Madrid's tactical setup wasn't playing to his strengths. He was being forced into a central striker role rather than his natural position on the left wing, where he thrives. He and Vini often found themselves competing for the same spaces. His link-up with Bellingham wasn't clicking. His confidence took a hit. Shots that he would normally bury were going wide, and instead of cutting him some slack, the world piled on. You could see that his body language showed frustration. He was unhappy with himself and demanded more, but they still criticized him.
Bernabeu, and you have to perform. And thus far, we have seen a substandard Kylian Mbappe.
It's crazy how quickly people forget. This is the same Mbappe who put Argentina through an emotional roller coaster in the last World Cup. The same player who lifted the trophy at just 19 years old. Great players need time to adapt. Modric needed time. He was once called the worst signing of the season. Benzema struggled in his early years, labeled the next Anelka by the Spanish media. But look at them now, they're club legends. Mbappe needed time too, and that's all it took for things to change. People were too quick to write him off, forgetting that a player of Mbappe's caliber doesn't just fall off overnight. He was struggling, yes, but the signs were there. He just needed the right tactical adjustments and time to adapt. By January, the resurgence had begun. The first real glimpse of his return to form came in the Spanish Super Cup against Barcelona. Madrid lost the match, but Mbappe was electric, dazzling runs down the left flank, cutting through defenders with precision, and capping it off with a goal. Then came a brace against Las Palmas, followed by a hat-trick against Real Valladolid. The floodgates had opened, and that was just the beginning. In La Liga, he couldn't stop scoring. Goals against Celta Vigo, Atletico Madrid, Osasuna just kept coming. But it was in the Champions League where he truly reminded the world who he was. A goal against Salzburg, then 4 against Manchester City. And those weren't just any goals. The first leg against City started rough. Madrid were under pressure, struggling to keep up with City's intensity. But then Mbappé flipped the script, scoring a crucial goal that sparked a 3-2 comeback. At the Bernabeu, he took complete control. His first goal was vintage Mbappé, a replica of what we had seen before. An early, perfectly timed run that gave Madrid the confidence to play like the game was already won. The second was a masterclass. He sent Guardiola flying with slick ball control before coolly slotting it home. Someone should check on Guardiola's ankle. And the third was picture perfect, scoring from a position he's least comfortable in, proving just how much he's willing to adapt to stay at the top. This is the Mbappé we knew, the ankle-breaking Mbappé. And since January, he has scored 14 goals in 15 appearances. The numbers keep climbing. Now there's even talk of him overtaking Lewandowski for the league's golden boot, something that seemed impossible just a few months ago. Real Madrid's attack is finally clicking. Jude Bellingham has become the perfect midfield engine, feeding precise through balls to Mbappé while creating space for Vini and Rodrigo. Don Carlo made subtle but impactful tactical shifts, switching from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1, moving Mbappé further up the pitch, but with more positional freedom and flexibility. In some games, he's deployed in a 4-4-2 setup, allowing him to rotate with Vini, drift wide, and exploit spaces where he's most deadly. The midfield, led by Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Valverde, is controlling games better, and the defense looks more solid. All of this allows Mbappé to focus on what he does best, attacking with confidence. But the most crucial change is perhaps their chemistry. Madrid's players now understand Mbappé's movement. They time their passes better, making full use of his blistering pace. The fluidity in their build-up play has improved dramatically, and they're now starting to get the best out of Mbappé, which is giving him more confidence. Now, with Madrid clicking into gear and Mbappé back at his devastating best, the question isn't whether he'll succeed, it's whether anyone can stop him, because he might just lead Madrid to their 16th European crown.